You know, when I think about an American version of Godzilla, I'm reminded time and time again of just how terrible the 1998 film was. I sadly sat through that in the theater with my sister. It was horrible fun, but looking back on it as an adult, it was just pretty terrible. So recently, Warner Brothers decided to drop us a trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong, or GVK as I'll refer to it going forward. This is the fourth film in the MonsterVerse, which looks to deliver more of the same promise of towering titans and all their CGI glory, smacking one another around, causing destruction, and raising insurance premiums at the same time. So please keep in mind I have just as much limited knowledge of this film by what has been presented in this trailer so far as you do, dear viewer. So the final product could be okay. But I watched this trailer.
And it don't look good.
So I sat down and did my initial watch of this trailer. I basically groaned, and by the end of it, I did a full Captain Picard facepalm. Here we go again, another colorful world that yet somehow looks dark at the same time. And look, I see returning familiar faces again. Millie Bobby Brown. Oh hey, there's Kyle Chandler, who's a poor man's Robert Forster if I've ever seen. This trailer features the repetitive use of low tones and loud sound effects and cliche-sounding dialogue that most trailers present anymore. And look, I love Serge Tankian as much as anybody else, but you know things are bad when 2019's Godzilla King of Monsters theme song that he actually sang still seems better than this mess of a song this trailer features. I mean, it basically comes across as a poor man's Fort Minor. And yes, I realize that ages me a bit. Now, I'm going to hold out and reserve all final judgment until the final film is released, but so far to me, it looks like a lot more of the same, and honestly have not been impressed with much of the MonsterVerse this far. While there might be a small part of me that geeks out over it, I think it's just nostalgia fuel. The 2014 Godzilla reboot featured very little of Godzilla, and mostly had Bryan Cranston chewing his way through most of the scenes that he was in, and after his character was killed off, so after that, all you're left with is these other non-Bryan Cranston characters to wrap things up. Ugh. It was such a slow burn that it just burnt by the end. 2017's Kong Skull Island seemed like a mess too. I mean, it had some clever moments but seriously, seeing Tom Hiddleston playing the role of a pseudo-macho British Special Services air captain, it definitely made me laugh at times, and I don't think that's what they're going for. Granted, I will go on record and say that I've only watched Kong Skull Island just once, and my memory might be a little bit at fault, but honestly, I'm standing by my comments for now at least. So when the day comes that we do get to view GVK, I will watch it at least once, maybe twice. Hell, I gave Godzilla King of Monsters a second look, only to find out that it was worse the second time I watched it. Maybe because all that nostalgia of the monsters fighting one another was something that I had wanted to see for quite some time, had finally worn off. And I do have fond memories of watching old Godzilla films growing up. I remember watching them like on Saturday or Sunday mornings with my dad in the living room, and that was awesome. But then again, they were pretty terrible and cheesy, and the overdubs were god awful. But if you want my opinion, and I know you do because it's why you're here, right? I would recommend you just go watch the 2016 Shin Godzilla, as it delivers. And while I don't like to toot the horn of award shows and achievements, but it grossed a decent bank, 78 million worldwide. It was the highest grossing live action Japanese film of the year 2016, and it became one of the highest grossing Japanese produced Godzilla films of the franchise, apparently receiving 11 Japan Academy Prize nominations and won 7, so that's not bad. It also got Picture of the Year and Director of the Year. So there you have it. Go watch that one instead while you wait for GVK. And some final thoughts here. I went back and actually gave this trailer a second watch. It had me a little bit more excited, but again, I think that's part of the nostalgia of the older monster movies. Even the 1962 King Kong vs. Godzilla had its moments. So again, I'll reserve final judgment until I see it, but as for now,
And it don't look good.
until next time, dear viewer, keep it real.